you ain't know? What you ain't know? What you ain't know? What you ain't know that was the devil's dead? What you ain't know that was the devil's dead? What you ain't know that was the devil's dead? What you ain't know? What you ain't know? I know one day it's gonna go down for real. I know one day people is gonna get killed for what they believe in. Women and even children. That ain't my word, that's what the Bible say. You don't believe cause your mind reprobate. You take your kids and go get vaccinated. They get sick and you get scared. On Sunday you go pray to Satan. What you ain't know that was the devil's dead? Jesus died on the cross for all our sins. All that went away. Oh yeah? Where in the book it say forget the sex? Shrimp, crab, lobster, swine, all that. Y'all can have.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yahweh in the name of His Son Yahweh Shah. And today's lesson is no thanks, none given.
That's right.
Cause we ain't fitting to sit here and celebrate the slaughter of millions of Native Americans, millions of Taino Indians, millions of Arawak Indians, millions of Pequot, Nipmunk, Massasoit, any other type of Indian that you can think of, Native American. We not fitting to celebrate that. And you should be ashamed, Judah. Y'all out here celebrating it where we could compare Wounded Knee to the Devil's Punch Bowl. I mean, it's a damn shame. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the Bible today along with historical references, and we're going to show you why you should not be celebrating the atrocities that you have been celebrating. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to read the book of John chapter 8 verse 32. The book of John chapter 8 verse 32. And you know that's the famous verse.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
And what we're going to do is we're going to go through this Bible along with historical references as well. And we're going to give you the truth of Thanksgiving. We're going to let you know what you're celebrating, no matter how you sugarcoating it, about celebrating it with your family members, and so on and so forth. And we're going to go through this Bible, and we're just going to tear Thanksgiving to shreds. And hopefully after this, you ain't going to be celebrating these vain philosophies and deceits that's being perpetrated anymore. From there, we're going to go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28, verse 10.
Or Isaiah.
Excuse me, Salakia.
Isaiah chapter 28, verse 10. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. So
what we're going to do is we're going to go through this Bible, we're going to go through some of the New Testament, we're going to go through some of the Old Testament, and we're going to show you why you shouldn't be celebrating this atrocity, this mass genocide that you're celebrating called Thanksgiving today. But first we're going to bring out one of our flyers, and we're going to read from it. And if you see it, we'd be glad to give you a copy of it as well. And it's called Thanksgiving, a celebration of genocide and atrocious crimes against the Lord's chosen people. And y'all should be ashamed celebrating this atrocity against our brothers the Gadites. Y'all should be ashamed, because the same things that they did to them, they did it to us.
That's right.
that's right.
Okay? So this reads, this comes from my brother Mikael. Every year, millions of Americans across the country ignorantly celebrate the heathen tradition called Thanksgiving. Many of us grew up hearing the false narrative that the original Thanksgiving was a magical day where the European pilgrims and Native Americans got together for a feast in brotherhood and unity. That story is a whitewashed fairy tale, and it's far from the truth. America is filled with lies.
That's right.
Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. Hosea 4:1. Once again, hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. Hosea 4:1. So there's no knowledge of what's really going on. They're not giving you the knowledge of what really happened during these Thanksgiving feasts, these mass atrocities, these mass genocides. They're giving you the fairy tale narrative. You sitting there and y'all having the feast and y'all ignorantly celebrating the death of your brothers. That's all you're doing, no more, no less. No matter if you're just doing it for family time, no matter if you're just doing it for the children, you're celebrating the death of your brethren. You're celebrating the funeral of your brethren. Because that's what you're doing. You're celebrating the funerals. Not to get together with your family, you're celebrating millions of funerals. Mass graves that was dug. This is what actually happened. The first actual proclaimed day of Thanksgiving came in 1637 near present-day Groton, Connecticut, where over 700 men, women, and children of the Pequot tribe had gathered for their annual Green Corn Harvest Festival. On the eve of the festival, the Pilgrims and Puritans surrounded the camp and demanded that everyone come out of their homes. Those who obliged with the terroristic demands were either shot dead or clubbed to death. Those who stayed inside the longhouses, including women, infants, and children, were burnt to death in all. More than 700 Pequot men, women, and children were slaughtered that day.
Wow.
The victory was celebrated by William Bradford, the governor of Massachusetts Bay Colony, holding a feast and trumpeted this as a day of Thanksgiving. This is what y'all thankful for, y'all. Y'all thankful for the mass atrocities of Native American Pequot Indians, 700 of them who were being slaughtered this day. The killings became more and more frenzied, with days of Thanksgiving feasts being held after each and every successful massacre. George Washington finally suggested that only one day of Thanksgiving per year be set aside instead of celebrating each and every massacre.
Wow.
Later, Abraham Lincoln decreed Thanksgiving Day to be a legal national holiday during the Civil War. On the same day, he ordered troops to march against the starving Sioux Indians in Minnesota. This is what y'all celebrating, y'all. Y'all should be ashamed. And yet y'all don't even care. Y'all just brainwashed and going right along with it. And the Most High hate that thing.
That's lucky. They'll celebrate Thanksgiving like the 12 days of Christmas, celebrating it every day of the week till the government put a stop sale. Let's limit to just 1 or 2 days.
That's what I was about to say too, was that it was more than one Thanksgiving. For
Right.
every massacre that happened, they had a Thanksgiving Day, Thanksgiving feast.
And went through and killed everybody, women, infants, and children.
Great.
Let alone that, they gave them smallpox blankets and all type of stuff, and they raped their women. And this is what you celebrating, with no remorse and no care of what you're doing.
And we know in Proverbs chapter 6 that the shedding of innocent blood is one of the 6 things that Yahweh hates. And this is what you call a celebration.
The Most High say in Amos chapter 5, verse 21, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. So he don't even care about your feast that you're throwing. He don't care about them. He also commanded that you be separate. The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17. Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. So if you're celebrating this Thanksgiving feast, the Most High ain't hearing you right now. He told you to be separated from this. We're supposed to be set apart. But you celebrating the slaughter of your brethren. From there, we're going to go to the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 5 through 12. The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 5 through 12.
Ye also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man.
So this white man's a proud man. They done went through every time that they slaughtered Native Americans, each and every tribe, Pequot, Massasoit, Nipmuc, Cherokee, Sioux Indians, Apaches, Taínos, Arawaks. You can name any of them. After every Thanksgiving, they threw a celebration because this is a proud man. Read.
Neither keepeth at home.
So they didn't keep us at home. They came across sea decided they was going to take from these Native Americans after they showed them how to farm, after they showed them how to make skin coats, after they showed them how to survive the winter and farm the land. This is what they did to them. This was their thanks that they was given.
Who enlargeth his desire as hell.
So they giving us hell. They desire and they heaven on earth is our hell. They came to give the Native Americans hell.
And Salaki, there's no end to their desire either. They'll take the moon if they want to.
They trying to take the moon. Read.
And is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a tainting proverb against him, and say,
Hold that. Bring out Isaiah chapter 5 verse 8. Isaiah chapter 5 verse 8.
Isaiah chapter 5 verse 8.
Bring it out.
Woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place, that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth.
So destruction is coming to this man for doing the things that they did to our Native American brothers. Destruction is coming to them because they keep taking and enlarging theirs. They still trying to take. The Indians on reservations, they trying to take the land from them right now.
That's right.
Keep reading. Go back.
and it says here, we're going to go to Habakkuk chapter 5 verse 6.
Bring it out.
It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a tainting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thicket clay. Shall they not rise up suddenly, that shall bite thee, and awake, that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwelleth therein. Woe to him that covereth an evil covetedness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil.
And this man has set his nest on a lie. He's esteeming himself, and he done esteemed the wicked holiday that you following right behind. You don't even care to do the research on where it come from, but you following it because you wicked as hell. Read.
Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the bane of out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establisheth a city by iniquity.
That's right. So destruction is coming to this man that has done these atrocities to your brethren, the Gadites. And if you join to this man and you follow these wicked customs, when the Most High come back, you're going to have destruction to come to you too. Because that's exactly what woe means every time you read it through the parables. Destruction, destruction, destruction is going to come to you. Because we done showed you should be separate. And you should know better. What do you think they was doing to you on Thanksgiving? Some of y'all say y'all got Indian in your family. Why the hell is you celebrating Thanksgiving for?
Con. It's like in Galatians chapter 6 verse 7 says that the Most High is not mocked. Whatever man soweth, that shall he also reap.
And he won't be mocked. He said anybody who touches any of us, they touch the apple of his eye.
Con.
So destruction is coming to them. Bring out Ezekiel chapter 24, verse 9 through 14. Ezekiel chapter 24, verse 9 through 14.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, woe to the bloody city! I will even make the pile for fire great. Heap on wood, kindle the fire, consume the flesh, and spice it well, and let the bones be burnt. Then set it empty upon the coals thereof, that the brass of it may be hot and may burn, and that the filthiness of it may be molten in it, that the scum of it may be consumed.
Slocky, so America has a lot of bodies to pay for, to answer for. The hundreds of millions of bodies from the Native Americans, as well as the Southern Kingdom, kidnapping them from Africa, bring them to America, to the hills of America.
That's right.
She have wearied herself with lies, and her great scum went not forth out of her. Her scum shall be in the fire. Excuse me. In thy filthiness is lewdness, because I have purged thee, and thou wast not purged. Thou shalt not be purged from thy filthiness any more, till I have caused my fury to rest upon thee. I, the Lord, have spoken it. It shall come to pass, and I will do it. I will not go back, neither will I spare, neither will I repent. According to thy ways and according to thy doings shall thy judge thee, saith the Lord Yahweh.
So this Babylon the Great, this America, has got a judgment coming. And if you're doing the things and you being of America, the judgment coming to you too. And this is your warning. And we've been telling you. So we ain't gonna send out prayers to forgive you. We sending out prayers that the Most High spare your children. Because they innocent. And we done been on Facebook and y'all telling us mind your business in the bag back. And we done told you enough. It says don't put off from day to day and y'all putting it off. Y'all sitting around this turkey and y'all know where all this come from. You're welcoming your own destruction. We not about to sugarcoat nothing for you. We're going to cry it out and spare not on this day. As our ancestors' blood cried from the ground, from all the massive graves that done been dug, from all the people that Plymouth Rock done landed on. From there we're going to go to the book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 33. The book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 33.
Verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood, it defileth the land. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
So this land going to be cleansed by the blood of the man who done shed the blood of this land. But y'all being partakers along with him, and y'all want to be equal, and y'all want to join hands with this man. Bring out Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20.
That's right. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
So y'all trying to say this is your family time, and you trying to make something nice out of something that's unclean. The Most High said you can't.
That's right.
You want to be a partaker of this. Oh, I'm doing it for the family. When I'm supposed to separate myself from your family, you damn right you're supposed to separate yourself from your family. Because you're not supposed to follow a multitude to do evil.
That's right. Let me bring out 1 Thessalonians 5 real quick.
Bring it out.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 22. Abstain from all appearance of evil.
That's right. And this is the celebration of the appearance of evil to the Gadites. You celebrating this wickedness.
And Salakia, the Gadites and Native Americans are on Plymouth Rock right now mourning. This is the national day of mourning. They're not sitting at home eating turkey and watching a football game like you wicked people are.
And some of y'all is dead descendants. You ought to be ashamed. From there, we're going to go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15.
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day.
You don't do some of them.
to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Verse 37, or verse 31. Thy ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thy enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them.
And that's just what this white man came over here and did as one of the curses, because we wasn't keeping the commandments. He came and killed this man's buffalo, his main source of food. He came and he killed this man's oxen. That's just what he did, our brethren. So it's high time to step away from these things, because these curses still befalling us.
Verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither Yahweh shall lead thee.
And they call them Indians. Indian comes from a Latin word indios, which just means slaves. Oh, you didn't know they were slaves? Well, you need to watch Goodbye Uncle Tom. Because the first people that they took when they landed on Plymouth Rock, they came and they took these Native American Pico Indians back to England as slaves. And you try to say they don't fit the curses, you Negro-only Israelites. You damn fools. Yahweh gonna visit you for hating your brother, because he had hated his brother, have already committed murder in his heart. Y'all better wake up, Israel.
That's right.
And how can Native American be nationality when you was here hundreds or thousands of years before America Vespucci? That don't make no sense either.
Mm-hmm.
No one's going around calling themselves Native American before the Edomites came here. That's a byword.
That's right.
Verse 48. Therefore thou shalt serve thy enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee.
That's right.
This is currently happening. This fits the so-called Native Americans now on the reservation.
That's right.
They depend on the American government to provide these things to them.
That's right.
So how does it not fit the so-called Native Americans? It's crazy to think it doesn't.
Yeah, this is the history of the Native Americans, blacks, and Hispanics.
That's right.
And if you don't see it, it's because you don't got spiritual eyes, and Most High hasn't opened your eyes to see this yet. This is spiritual. You cannot get this from a carnal mindset. You have to be spiritual when reading the Bible.
If you don't get this, you don't have love.
Come.
You got to have love for your brothers
That's
to understand
right.
this.
That's right.
To really go in and look in the history of the other people who are the other nations.
That's right.
And find out what they went through and how it relates to us.
That's right.
Yeah, quit being simple. Verse 49. Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
That's right.
We're talking about the Edomites from Europe.
That's right. And Native American men did not understand their tongue.
Verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
And they did not. They killed women, infant, and children who did not come out of their log house after they just showed them how to survive a winter. And then through several Thanksgivings, it's commemorated. And now you sit there and you're commemorating it. You're damn fools. And you're wicked as hell.
Yeah, you need to repent.
We're doing, by celebrating the holidays, we're doing exactly what that verse we just read, saying that we're taking what's evil and trying to make it good.
That's right.
Do away with it completely. We would change industries. We would have so much leverage if we came together as a nation and stopped this foolishness. They would be begging us to come back. And then we can come and put what we want. Make it the way we want to make it.
The way it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
Well, it said, verse 51. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle, and the fruit of thy land, until thou beest destroyed. Which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he hath destroyed thee.
And that's just what they did. They killed off their buffalo. They stole their corn. They stole their grain. And they gave them the worst of the lands.
That's right.
They did it to the Choctaws. They did it in Louisiana. They pushed them all the way to Oklahoma. They did it. You need to follow your history.
And it's funny, they kept on pushing it farther west and west, and when they found a little bit of gold in California, then the wicked devils kicked the Native Americans out of California also, so they can get their hands on the gold.
That's right. They did it to the Khalifas.
Yeah.
From there, we're going to go to the book of Numbers, chapter 24, verse 5. The book of Numbers, chapter 24, verse 5.
All right, Numbers chapter 24, verse 5.
Bring it out.
How goodly are thy tents, O Jacob, and thy tabernacles, O Israel.
That's right. And that's further proving that these Native Americans, these so-called Native Americans are their brothers. They known for chilling in the booths. They known for chilling in the tabernacles that y'all call tents, teepees, wigwams. They known for it.
And
the sons of Jacob.
It's like a funny thing is they was keeping tabernacles every day on the land before the Europeans came. Because aren't we supposed to dwell in booths and tents during the Feast of Tabernacles?
That's right. And Genesis even say that Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents.
Yeah, he did his Jake all day. The scriptures prove it.
From there we're going to go to 1 Chronicles chapter 12, verse 8. The book of Chronicles, 1 Chronicles chapter 12, verse 8.
All right, on verse 8. And of the Gadites there separated themselves unto David into the hold of the wilderness of men of might, and men of war fit for the battle, that could handle shield and buckler, whose faces were like the faces of lions, and were as swift as roes upon the mountains.
That's right. And this man was one of the hardest men to conquer. That's why they were so hard to deal with. They had even though that the English had muskets and everything, these men had knives and spears and arrows, and they was hard to deal with. They knew how to handle themselves when it came down to warring.
That's right.
From there, let's go to the book of Obadiah, verse 5. And
Salakia, let me bring one more thing out on
Salakia.
Let me bring out Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 20, another characteristic of Gad, the so-called Native Americans. This is Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 20. And of Gad he said, Blessed be he that enlargeth Gad. He dwelleth as a lion. He teareth the arm with the crown of the head. So I was talking about the blood brother pact, where when the Native Americans made a covenant with each other, they'll take a feather from the crown or their, what's that called?
The headdress.
Yeah, the headdress, and they would cut each other and shake each other's hands. So that was a prophecy that Gad did, making a covenant with each other.
That's right.
They took their covenant serious, unlike the Edomites did. If they said something, damn it, they would do it. So let me read that again, verse 19, verse 20. And Gad, he said, Blessed be he that enlargeth Gad, he dwelleth as a lion, and he teareth the arm with the crown of his head. Verse 21. And he provided the Salakia, I think that's it then. Oh, never mind, verse 21. And he provided the first part for himself, because there in a portion of the lawgiver was he seated. And he came with the heads of the people. He executed the justice of Yahweh and his judgments with Israel. And we know that the Native Americans were very, very civilized people. They was a people of law and order. And when you research history long far enough, the U.S. Constitution was came from the from the Gadite laws.
Let alone that, after all the atrocities that these Edomites, this so-called white man that came and did, they even wanted to work treaty after treaty with this man, even though they broke him several times.
It's the Native Americans that were the Gadites that were civilized, and the Edomites that are wild and wicked.
That's right.
So don't believe that propaganda about the Native Americans being wild and uncivilized. They were very civilized people.
Question everything.
Absolutely.
We want to bring out a prophecy about the Edomites in the book of Obadiah, verse 5.
Can I start at 4?
Go ahead.
All right. Let me see here. I'm going to start at 3. Is that okay?
Go ahead, bring it up.
The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rocks. If you remember, the Caucasians come from where? Caucasus Mountains, right? Those are caves. Whose habitation is high, right? Mountains. High, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Pride, right?
That's right.
Prideful. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. Again, here's that ego again. This represents Greek, Rome, Spanish, all right? Britain, America. They all represent themselves as an eagle at one point in time. And America represents it still.
That's
you
right.
see it on your quarter. Okay? It says, and thou that set thy nest among the stars. Who's us? We got NASA. We're spending billions of dollars trying to find new worlds, trying to get to the moon, all these different things. It's
Or
craziness.
Slovakia. Or even the 50 states, the stars on the flag. That says they nest in the stars.
That's right. And it says here, thence will I bring thee down. So thence what? Thence I will bring thee down, saith the Lord.
That's right.
Alright? If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough?
And Slovakia. And they still stealing. They keep taking and taking and taking and taking. Right now, they steady taking. Right now, they even trying to go out there and take the land on the reservation in the Dakotas. And over there in Nebraska with the Keystone Pipeline XL. And with the Dakota Pipeline XL. But let us bring you up to date on some new news. What they doing right now.
Let's go.
With the Keystone Pipeline and the South Dakota pipelines. Hundreds of thousands of gallons of crude oil spilled out of the Keystone Pipeline in South Dakota. This is just last
Is
Thursday.
it a couple thousand?
Hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands of gallons of oil on sacred land.
That's spilling near these people's water. That's polluting their crops where they gave them the land to live.
Man, you know, Thanksgiving today is giving these guys who own this pipeline are on Thanksgiving today giving thanks for that pipeline.
That's right.
It's sickening. Giving thanks to that pipeline that dropped 200 and what?
It was says hundreds of thousands of gallons of crude oil spilled out of the Keystone Pipeline in South Dakota.
That land is ruined.
There was a massive oil spill from Keystone Pipeline on Thursday after the pipeline developed a leak in a section running through South Dakota. The leak spilled about 210,000 gallons of oil, the equivalent of 5,000 barrels near the small Dakota town of Amherst.
Wow.
State officials have so far said that they believe that the leak occurred on farmland that was the so-called Native Americans, and didn't get into any water or streams. The leak and spill drew alarm from environmentalists and anti-pipeline activists who were opposed to the separate but related Keystone XL pipeline that is proposed to run through the state. The two projects are owned and operated by the same company, TransCanada.
Wow.
Who Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, by the way, both have stock in. Even so, officials in Nebraska say this latest spill won't weigh into their decision on whether to permit the Keystone Pipeline XL project. The Keystone Pipeline that leaked in part of the same network of pipeline that is being protested by Standing Rock Tribe after an extension was proposed that would run through part of their reservation. So even though the pipeline just had a spill, they not even talking about halting the Dakota Pipeline XL. And it's going to run through the Native Americans' land, their reservation.
That's what they live off. They live off that land.
Read that verse again, verse 5.
Yep. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grapes gatherers came to thee, will they not leave some grapes? Keep going.
Nah, they not trying to leave this man anything. They're not trying to leave our brother anything. They're trying to take and move him off of their reservation.
Yep.
They done just been out there sicking dogs on them and spraying pesticides on them.
Now, if
Same thing that they did to us in the 1960s. Same exact thing. You think that's not your brethren?
So like you're not gonna see them do that to the Chinese or the so-called Japanese or so-called Arabs, but they do it to Israelites.
Yep. If that same situation happens on the reservation land, the government is going to step in and take charge of that land. That's just another way for them to get more land off of the reservation, off of our people.
And they ain't doing nothing but destroying the wilderness and the wildlife, the land that they living off of.
Sick.
Can I pull this out in Deuteronomy 19:14?
Bring it out.
Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 14. Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set in thine inheritance, which thou shalt inherit in the land of Yahweh thy God, giveth thee to possess it. So that's wicked. Constantly moving the Native Americans' landmark. You're gonna move them all the way to there in the Pacific Ocean.
Sir. What's that, Ezekiel?
Or that's I think it's Deuteronomy.
Be
20.
joyful, Israel. If we go down to
Yeah, I got it.
Obadiah 5 and 9, it says here, and thy mighty men of Timon, right?
Timon.
T-Man, the son of Esau.
Shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
And that's what's coming to them for doing these atrocities to
That's
the so-called Native Americans, the Gadites.
For thy violence against brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
That's right.
Let me pull out Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 19.
Bring it out.
When thou shalt besiege a city a long time, and make a war against it to take it, thou shalt not destroy the trees thereof by force and axe against them, for thou mayest eat of them, and thou shalt not cut them down. For the tree of the field is man's life, to employ them on the siege. Only the trees which thou knowest that they be not trees for me, thou shalt destroy and cut them down. And thou shalt build bulwarks against the city, and make a war with thee until it be subdued. So we know with Esau occupying America, they were constantly cutting down trees unnecessarily, building buildings and plazas, and then after a while they abandoned it. 20 years later, cut down more trees and build more businesses, get their tax abatements, and move somewhere else, which is totally uncalled for.
That's right.
Jeremiah 9, verse 15.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 9, verse 15.
It says, therefore thus says Yahweh of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will feed them, even this people, with wormwood, and give them water from gall to drink. So we know that this system has destroyed our water by constantly spilling pipelines that seep into our water system, putting fluoride and chlorine in our water systems. So
Building power plants and stuff near the irrigation systems.
right.
Just taking. But you don't think they your brothers.
Next, we're going to go to Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 4. How long shall the land mourn, and the herbs of every field wither? For the wickedness of them that dwell therein. The beasts are consumed, and the birds, because they said, He shall not see our last end. So this land is mourning because of the policies of the Edomites. They don't got no respect for the land at all, not giving the land Sabbath so the soil can regain its nutrients That's why your food don't got no nutrition in it at all. People are getting sick, overweight, and have all kinds of health problems. They're cutting down trees, and the animals don't got no place to run. That's why people hit deers every day, because they're running around looking for homes and killing millions of turkeys every year. What's the turkey count that they killed this year for Thanksgiving?
Oh, the turkey count for Thanksgiving.
It's like in the tens of millions.
Yep.
You got coyotes running through the city, bears coming in the city in Massachusetts.
Right.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, we got to pay for water, air. We got to pay for everything that was given to us free by the Most High.
That's right.
See, I don't have that anymore.
Okay, it's cool now.
It was definitely in the millions.
Right, some kind of ungodly amount. Let me.
Yeah, it was. Oh, it was raised. You mean raised today? Raised. There was 243 million turkeys raised in 2016. I can imagine that probably doubled this year. Maybe.
Sure.
How many sheep did they raise for Passover?
Right.
Probably like a handful.
Can't even find a sheep nowadays.
Right.
A sheep? What's a sheep?
It's a shame this land probably raises more pigs per Easter than sheep for Passover.
Yeah, straight up.
We had to get those statistics one of these days. See what the numbers are for the Easter hams and the Passover lambs.
That's funny.
Let's go to the book of Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 13. The book of Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 13.
Alright, I got it. Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 13. And Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I have driven them.
And that's right, we being forced to eat off of this tainted land. We giving the lowest of the lows as a people. The Native Americans giving the lowest of the lows as the people. And they out there polluting their land. And they showing they don't even care. It just shows you that they still gonna run the pipeline, even though that this one pipeline then already busted. And then it's not slowing down none of their plans, because this man is greedy and want to just take.
It don't affect them. It don't affect them if the land gets polluted, if they can't farm on it no more.
Let's go to
so much money off this
Slack.
thing.
Let's go to the book of Exodus chapter 23, verse 10 through 12. The book of Exodus chapter 23, verse 10 through 12.
Alright, Exodus 23, starting verse 10. And 6 years, this is talking about the land Sabbaths, the proper way to plant and cultivate crops. And 6 years thou shalt sow thy land, and shalt gather in the fruits thereof. But the 7th year thou shalt let it rest and lie still, that the poor of thy people may eat, and what they leave the beasts of the field shall eat. In like manner thou shalt deal with thy vineyard and with thy olive yard.
And they just living off the land, polluting the land. They not listening to none of what the Most High said. They just transgressing all the laws of the Most High. Polluting the land for the Native Americans, taking their land, in bed with Monsanto, killing the bees, doing things of that nature. Not giving the land no rest. And just like he said, none of the fruits, most of it doesn't have any nutrients because of it. That's why they putting GMOs in the food to make it grow. Genetically modifying stuff.
And also so that the poor may eat. You see lots of videos on YouTube where restaurants, because of laws legislated by the city council, they're forced to throw away the foods that have given it to the poor and needy. So you got a lot of people who are homeless that are starving, and you got a bunch of food you're throwing away.
People on reservations that starve and they're not giving them the food. People,
when this land was theirs and nobody starved when the Native Americans were ruling.
that's right, because they tried to make sure that this man ate. Show them how to survive winters. Show them how to make skins and coats and things of that nature. And then they slaughtered and raped them. It's a damn shame. And it's sad that y'all still participating in this. Y'all should know better by now. This shit hit home for a lot of y'all right now. And the sad part is it doesn't. Y'all brainwashing going right along with it and don't even care. Because you think that you just having family time. When you can have family time just keeping the Most High's high holy days.
That's right.
Instead of these damn hella days. It ain't nothing more than the commemoration of the slaughter. And that's all you doing. You're sitting around eating that turkey that represents the nations of the Gadites.
And you're celebrating your oppressors coming into power, celebrating Thanksgiving.
That's just what you're doing.
Because that was the decisive battle that where Esau started gaining power and taking over the so-called Americas. So there's nothing to celebrate. I'm not happy being under Esau rulership.
Not at all. From there, we're going to go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 12, verse 4. The book of
I brought
Jeremiah.
that out already.
Oh, sir.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 7. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 7. It says, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon saying, since thou art laid down, no fellers come against us. So when the Most High comes back to put Israel back in power, the earth is going to rejoice because Esau's not in power no more. Because in the new kingdom, we're going to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments, which there's commandments regarding how to take care of the land and the earth. So Esau's so wicked that the earth, that nature is under captivity also besides us. So everybody, every living thing's going to rejoice when the Most High comes back to restore order.
That's right.
That's right.
So nature needs to be free from this captivity also.
That's right. And y'all need to be free from the bounds of these wicked holidays, y'all. It's high time. We need to stop provoking the Most High to anger. Until you do, these police is going to continue to kill us. This white man is going to continue to rule over us. So we're going to have the worst of the worst. And things are only going to get worse. They can continue to pack our children in these prison houses and hold them hostage because that's what they do, holding them hostage. I mean, it's a damn shame that George Zimmerman cannot go to jail for shooting Trayvon Martin, and then a man can go to jail for a drug deal for life. It's a damn shame.
And he has the drugs planted on it too.
Yeah. And they showing you that they planting the drugs, and they showing you executing our people. They showing you that they sicking dogs or people standing up so that they can have clean water on these reservations. They showing you these things. And it's a damn shame and it's sad. And most of y'all don't care. Y'all just tired of hearing the Israelites. Well, we're not gonna stop. We're gonna stand up for the Most High like we supposed to do. And it's not gonna come to an end.
Micah chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest.
Not at all.
Because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction.
That's right. So this wicked holiday is a polluted holiday. And the things that have happened here, it's not going to be cleansed but by the blood of it that done shed it. And the fire is coming for them. And you need to know it.
And for y'all out there who think God doesn't hate, I'm going to read this to you guys. Proverbs 6 and 16.
Bring it out.
These 6 things doeth the Lord hate. Ye 7 are an abomination unto him.
Who hates?
So who hates? Right?
Bring it out again. Read it for me
God
again.
is all love.
Bring it out again.
It says, these 6 things doeth the Lord hate. Ye 7 are an abomination unto him. Now I want you to think about, as a nation of people who have committed these things here.
Bring it out.
A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood.
That's right.
Wow, that's powerful. And a heart that devious wicked imaginations. Divisive, wicked imaginations. Feet that be swift in running to mischief. a false witness that speaketh lies, and him that soweth discord among brethren.
That's right.
That's happening every day right now. We have brothers fighting against you brothers because of what we've been taught
That's right.
about who we are in society, in life, as
That's
a nation
right.
of people.
That's right.
We only fight against each other because we don't believe that we are the same people.
That's right.
And who taught us that?
That's right.
You gotta think about this stuff. Like we were saying earlier, if you're not in this word, if you're not in a loving spirit, you're not gonna understand this word. That's how you said it. What was it? How you said it? How you put it?
If you looking at it from a carnal mindset, you're not going to get it.
Exactly. If you're looking at it a carnal mindset, because everything I just read right now is what we've been taught. It's what is going on. You've been taught since kindergarten. You've been programmed to believe these stories about Thanksgiving, about Christmas, and then when you get older, you find out that it's all lies. This nation has been lying to our people forever. It's time to wake up. Stop the foolishness.
That's right. Anybody else got anything they want to bring up?
I think that was good.
Well,
Leave us comments.
Well, Israel's high time, y'all. And hopefully y'all put down this wicked thing, because it's definitely unclean to the Most High. And we want to thank y'all for watching. And we post daily, Rise the Chosen, Truth Beyond the Surface Temple. We'll be back here Saturday. You can see us on Truth in the Morning, Lord willing, this weekend. And with that, we want to say Shalom to the brethren and to the children of Israel.
Shalom,
in
brothers.
the four corners of the earth. Peace and blessings. Kum Yasharala!
Kum Yasharala!
Kum Yasharala!
Kum Yasharala!
Kum Yasharala!
Kum Yasharala!
Stay blessed, y'all, and put down this wicked devices.
Put it down!
Okay.